The UN failed to pass a statement condemning violence in Syria. Some nations blocked the move, expressing concern the country could face a Libyan-style scenario. Russia was among them, saying that outside intervention would only lead to further destabilisation and a fully fledged civil war. For more on the situation in Syria, let's talk now to Michel Chossudovsky, who's director of the Canada-based Centre for Research on Globalization. Thanks for being on the line with us tonight on RT. NATO's deeply involved in the Libyan conflict now. Do you think then the coalition is likely to head to Syria anytime soon?
I think that is unlikely in the foreseeable future. What I think is on the drawing board of US foreign policy is increased sanctions, embargoes directed against Syria, as well as a process of diplomatic rhetoric, which we are seeing now in recent days.
And won't that intensify the situation even more?
Absolutely, absolutely. But I think there's some very fundamental questions which have to be addressed as to what is the cause of the violence in Syria. It's not the Western media has painted, I think, a rather biased picture of what is actually happening on the ground. And from my understanding, I spent a month in Syria just before these events unfolded. But if you look at what happened right from the beginning in this small border town of Dara, which is located approximately 5 to 10 kilometers from the Jordanian border, it's a small town of 75,000. And what happened on day one, that was March 18th, was that there was a confrontation between police officers and armed demonstrators or armed protesters. Now, according to the reports, 7 police officers were killed in that initial encounter, and I'm quoting, at least 4 demonstrators. Mm-hmm. This, according to the Israeli press as well as the Lebanese press. Now, anybody who has an understanding of protest movements knows that if police officers are killed, which invariably makes the tabloids if it happens in a Western country, we're talking about an exchange of gunfire between 2 opposing sides. In this case, the Syrian police on the one hand and the demonstrators on the other. That is what happened on day one, which suggests that we're not dealing strictly with a peaceful protest movement. Okay. We're dealing with armed gangs, which are corroborated by these killings of policemen.
Michel, I want to get your thoughts on what's happening in Libya as well, while we've still got a bit of time. That airstrike by NATO allegedly targeting the country's leader, Muammar Gaddafi, just hours after he called for that mutual ceasefire. Now, NATO saying it's not at all targeting people. That was never part of the UN resolution, but it kind of looks like it, doesn't it?
Well, first of all, when you deploy B-2 bombers and these advanced Mirage 2000 fighters from the French Air Force, inevitably you're going to get civilian casualties. These are sophisticated weapons systems. They drop bombs and missiles, and the evidence suggests that apartment buildings in Tripoli have been targeted, hospitals have been targeted, and now we have a rather conspicuous and despicable act of targeting the family of the head of state, namely his son, as well as his grandchildren. And we can make our own judgments, but this kind of behavior is in derogation of international law. Nothing allows the United States to go into a country and start killing the head of state or members of his family.
Well, indeed, Russia's condemned that, but what else can be done to try and calm this situation down, to make sure that the Allies stay by that resolution 1973?
Well, that resolution 1973 has been violated from the outset. The NATO is arming the Libya Islamic Fighting Group, which is a terrorist organization linked to Al-Qaeda. It's on the ground. It's supported by special forces. They started a ground war. This is an invasion. This is a full-fledged war. It's an extension of the war theater in Central Asia and the Middle East. We are at a very dangerous crossroads in our history, and we must understand what is actually happening. I would hope that Russia and China will take the initiative of confronting the United States, Britain, and France in the Security Council of the United Nations. These are illegal acts. They're in violation of the UN Charter. And above all, they are undertaken by countries which are involved in war crimes in other parts of the world, namely Afghanistan and Pakistan.
Michel,
and
we
Iraq.
could talk a lot more about this tonight. Unfortunately, time is a little bit against us. We appreciate your thoughts, though, and your viewpoint here on the programme. Michel Chossudovsky, Director of the Canada-based Centre for Research on Globalization. Thank you.
Thank you very much.